Hello and welcome. This is the introduction for Economics 170 for summer 2013 at the John Jay College of Criminal Justice. This is the introduction to the economics of crime and social problems. And before I get any further in, I'm going to check and make sure my camera is running. Excellent. All right then. So what we're going to be doing here, what this lecture does, is basically I'm going to introduce myself to you all. I'm also going to introduce the course a little bit, and I'm just going to briefly go over some talking points on the syllabus, just mention a couple things. Obviously it's all written there. So this will just be a short video today, and then the lectures proper will start as we move into section 1. So basically, to introduce myself, first of all, my name is James Meals, or Jamie. Most of my students call me Jamie, and I'm fine with you calling me Jamie. If you want to be more formal, Mr. Meals, Professor Meals, whatever, I'm comfortable with that. However, again, just Jamie is fine. I live in Western Massachusetts, and that's where I'm coming to you from today for this video. I live in Holyoke, Massachusetts. This office that I'm currently sitting in is in my house, which is an old Victorian mansion, a condo in an old Victorian mansion that's been converted, that I share with my partner Lindsay and our wonderful giant shaggy dog Rick. You may meet Rick over the course of the semester. You may even meet him during this video. He's sleeping at the moment, but he occasionally will hear my voice and come in to see who I'm talking to. The videos will either be for this course, the lectures will either be shot here in my office in Holyoke where I live, or in a office I share in Amherst, Massachusetts at the University of Massachusetts at Amherst, where I am a PhD candidate in economics. Basically, my educational background is such that I did 2 undergraduate degrees. I did one at the University of Western Ontario, now called Western University, in London, Ontario, which is my hometown. London is the part of Canada that kind of sticks down right between Toronto and Detroit. And I did my second undergraduate degree at the University of Massachusetts at Amherst in economics. I've also done my master's degree there, and I'm finishing up a PhD there in economics as well. My own kind of focus within my work is such that I study kind of both macro and microeconomics. Officially I study Marxian economics. I am a Marxian economist. I don't try and hide this or make any bones about it. I study Marxist history, and through that lens of Marxism I study the corporation, as well as I'm moving in towards studying more and more economic geography. I'm especially interested in the automotive industry and the kind of collapse of Detroit and the post-industrial aspects of that, the relationship between the city of Detroit and the large American auto manufacturers. I've also done work on export-led growth, exports and how they influence countries, and the macroeconomy of countries. In terms of my teaching, I've been teaching at John Jay for a fairly a decent chunk of time now. I think about 3 years. This is the fifth time I think that I'll be teaching Economics 170, the Crime and Social Problems course. And I'll talk more about that moving forward. I also teach both introductory macro and microeconomics, both at the University of Massachusetts and most recently at the Community College here in Holyoke, at Holyoke Community College, as well as at the University of Massachusetts. I'm currently teaching a Introduction to Political Economy course, which is also online, and I've taught Marxian economics, upper level, well, undergraduate, but upper level undergraduate Marxian economics a few times there as well. In terms of this course, the lectures will be, well, they will be a couple things. I will give you lecture notes at times. I know some of you will prefer that. However, many of my students in the past, when I've done these online courses, seem to prefer video lectures where I can actually draw graphs and explain them and that sort of thing, as well as talk to you. You can obviously go back, rewind, fast forward, all that sort of thing. I will probably do both, a combination of videos and lecture notes as the semester goes on. Certainly section 1 will be video lectures for sure, as I've already recorded them, but we may switch things up after that. In terms of the course itself, the discussions really become more important. They're important throughout, but they become more important as the course moves on. So I encourage you to make sure that you get into those as well. Well, actually, before I talk about the logistics, let me talk about the course itself, the material here. So the course, Economics 170 at John Jay here, the crime and social introduction to crime and economics of crime and social problems, is going to be similar in some ways to other kind of intro criminology courses that many of you may have taken, intro criminology or criminal justice courses, in that many of the topics are going to be the same. It's really the perspective of the economics field that makes this course really unique. In terms of the perspective of the economics field, I should address some fears. This is not a mathematical course. You don't need any calculus. There's not really even any algebra in the course, or solving equations or anything of that nature. You need some graphs, manipulation of graphs, which everything you'll need we will cover, and some adding and subtracting, and that's really about it. And also, I would imagine, I'm sure some of you have taken economics courses in the past, but I'm not assuming any economics background. I would assume some of you students in this course don't even really, at this point in the semester, have more than a vague idea of what the study of economics even is, and that's okay. We will do much more detail in section 1 about what economic analysis is, what it means, how it's done. But it's essentially, for our purposes in this course, a way, economic analysis that is, a way of looking at human decision making from the perspective of choices that we make and the fundamental nature of choice, in that all choices we make in the material world, I should say, not all choices, but economics is the choices we make in the material world. All those choices have a cost. So when we're in the realm of choice, we're studying essentially the fact that all material decisions we make, decisions around our consumption or foregone consumption, decisions around resource use, time being an important resource, but other resources as well, our natural resources, as well as our individual human capital, our knowledge, and the machines and equipment that we have to produce things. So these resources, when we're focusing on making choices with our resources, we basically, things are scarce, so we have to make choices, and those choices have costs. And it's that perspective that we will bring to the topics of introductory criminology. You know, things like, why are certain actions considered a crime in society? From an economic perspective, should something be a crime just if the cost outweighs the benefit? If it costs society, if this action that someone takes costs society more than the benefit, either to the person taking the action or to someone else, should that then be a crime? Should it be illegal? And we'll, other questions. Why do people knowingly commit crimes? Certainly, if you're committing a crime on purpose, the cost must outweigh the benefit, right? I mean, maybe not, but it's things like that that are worth thinking about, and things like that that are the major kind of topics and subjects of this course. And basically then, as we approach these different topics on the syllabus from an economic perspective, we're going to basically approach 8 main topics. There's 8 sections of the course. Each section of the course lasts about a week for this summer course. And basically the beginning sections of the course cover more kind of economic theory, and then the later sections cover applications to that theory to criminal justice and to the kind of big questions of the course. Basically, we develop the tools that we need at the beginning of the semester, and then spend time applying those tools to questions later in the semester. For this summer course, there is a lot of material and a lot of reading in a limited time. And I don't expect you, of course, to devote every waking minute to this. However, you are expected, both by me and by the college, to be able to do as much in this 8 weeks as you would be able to do in a full semester. So I would expect that you're going to have to work on this course pretty much every day, or for a significant chunk of time if you choose to work on it less days. If you choose not to work every day on the course, you're still going to need to put a significant amount of time in every week to succeed. So that said, I'm not trying to scare anybody off. I'm just saying the pace of the summer courses can be quite quick. So since we are developing the tools and the theory at the beginning of the semester, it's really, really important, if you find yourself falling behind, that you contact me and we work together to make sure that you're understanding the first sections, because that material is really important for the later sections in the course. And some of the reading especially is fairly challenging near the beginning. The lectures are here to help you. Certainly the reading and lectures don't duplicate each other, but they definitely supplement each other. So if you're finding yourself that the readings are challenging, that parts of it are not making a lot of sense, I encourage you to watch or read the lecture notes for that section and go back to the reading. And of course, I'm here to help as well. I'll always answer emails, and if need be, I can talk on the phone to you as well, and these sorts of things. I am, as I said, up in Massachusetts, so meeting on a regular basis, I would assume most of you live in the New York City area, is not that practical, although I will be down in New York City at least 2, possibly 3 times this semester. So if we do need to meet face-to-face, it's certainly a possibility. Let me just say a few things about the syllabus then. So course code, my name, my phone number is listed here. I don't answer my phone if it's a number that's not saved in there, unless I'm expecting a call. So certainly you can send me a text message if there's an emergency especially about the final exam, which is timed. I'll come to that in a minute or something. But generally my Gmail account, the Jamie, Jamie, HLS, or JA, and then my last name, J email, that email, the JAMIEHLS@gmail.com, is the best way to reach me. I check that email every day, and usually multiple times a day. My John J email is acceptable as well, although I check it less frequently, usually only once or twice a week. And again, in terms of talking on the phone, I'm happy to do it, but we should probably be in contact via email first or via text message first, as I probably won't pick up my phone if you were to just call. In terms of textbooks for the course, there's 2 books. The beginning part, the theory, and most of the reading from the course comes out of this book, Understanding Capitalism. It's a little bit dated now. It's from 2005. The primary author here, Samuel Bowles, is a emeritus professor, and actually Richard Edwards taught at UMass as well, but he's an emeritus professor at UMass. A man I don't know well, but I'm certainly quite familiar with his work. I choose Understanding Capitalism here for a few reasons, but primarily for this course because it focuses on, instead of the details of a microeconomic theory, it really focuses on introducing you to the underlying concepts of what makes our economy work. Issues of class and competition and these sorts of things. As well as this book is relatively affordable for an introductory economics textbook, I believe under $60, or right around that neighborhood, as opposed to somewhere between $100 and $200 for most intro books. As an example, I'll leave my thumb over the name, but this book here, which is just says Microeconomics, that have used recently for another course, I just looked up the cost of it, and it's $150 new. And the one containing both macro and micro is even more. So you need to get Understanding Capitalism. The USBN and everything is on the syllabus. You need to get that book right away. We get right into it, and those readings are crucial to the first parts of the course. And again, if as you're reading you have questions, concerns with what you're reading, or you're not sure about the meaning or implication of something, by all means post either on the discussion board or send me an email. And I'll talk more about the discussion board in a minute. The other book, The Rich Get Richer and the Poor Get Prison here. This book is by Jeffrey Ryman, sorry. The Rich Get Richer and the Poor Get Prison. This is an excellent, excellent book. And we won't be using it till later in the course. It's relatively inexpensive. Let's see if there's a price on here. Trying to remember. I know it was under $30 when I bought. I had a free desk copy that I lost last year, and I bought a new version of it, and I remember it being relatively inexpensive. But yeah, The Rich Get Richer and the Poor Get Prison, we do not use until section 7. However, we read the entire book for section 7. There's no other readings for section 7, but I really suggest that you get it sooner rather than later and start working on it. We don't need it till the 6th or 7th week of the class, but you are expected to read the whole thing for section 7, so the earlier you start on it, the better. Alright, so a few notes. I'm not going to read the entire syllabus to you here, but in those books the ISBNs are listed. And you can get them, you should be able to get them both at the John Jay bookstore as well as from Amazon and elsewhere online. The course is set up that you can work at any time of day or any days that you choose. You can work for a few minutes every day, or you can work for longer, a few days a week. I really don't care what time of day you work. As I'm recording this video, it's about 3 a.m. where I am. I tend to work at all different times of the day, but generally speaking, I'm a night owl. I usually don't get a lot of work done in the morning. I tend to be more productive at night, so that's when I do most of my work. It's entirely up to you. You won't ever be required to log on at a certain time. We have discussions and everything else for the course, but nothing is live. There's nothing that requires you for direct interaction. So the course itself, as I said, then is divided into 8 sections. For each of the sections, you'll have to complete the readings, both out of the books, or if there's other readings, for a couple sections there will be. I will provide you with a link. You will be able to get the other readings online at no cost to you. So for each section, you're expected to do the readings. Then you're expected to participate on the discussion board. For full points on the discussion board for each section, you're expected to have your own post, and then at least one longer or a few short responses to other people in the class's posts. So for each of the 8 discussion sections, you need to post something unique. You can certainly follow the threads that I make available, or you can start your own. And then you're expected to respond to other students as well. So generally speaking, 5, 6, 7 short posts or 2 or 3 longer posts will get you full marks for each discussion section. And then finally, for each section, there is a quiz. These are just meant for you to make sure that you're understanding the language and the readings. They're basically definitional quizzes / homeworks. You can retake them as many times as you like, but you do need to do them. You need to complete them. But they're completely open in the sense that you can keep taking them until you get full marks if you choose to. They're basically designed for you to make sure that you have a grasp of the material. If you can, get good grades on the quiz, it means that you're probably understanding all the language, jargon, theory of that section. In terms of, what you need to do to get a good grade, I am quite happy giving everyone an A in the course. If you all earn A's, I'm not going to grade on a curve or, make your grades fall into a standard distribution or anything like that. You need to do the discussions and the homework for each section, and then there's 3 graded assignments. There's a short 2-page or so written assignment near the beginning of the course. There is a midterm problem set, which you will have about a week to work on. Requires basically a couple graph questions of, shifting of a curve and then explaining it, as well as a couple short answer explanations. And then there is a final exam, which will be available on July 23rd and 24th. In the final, you have to log on. You'll have an hour and a half to complete it. There'll be 10 to 20 multiple choice exams, and then somewhere between 3 and 6 short answer response questions where you'll have to write a couple paragraphs. So those are the 3 assignments: a written assignment, a problem set midterm that you'll have some time, a week or so to work on, and then an exam where you actually log in for it. So as I say on the syllabus, 15% for discussions, 15% for your homework/quizzes, 15% for the writing assignment. The midterm problem set is 25% of your grade, and 30% of your grade is the final exam. That said, you need to complete all of the assignments. You need to, to pass the course, you need to do all the work. So just keep that in mind. In terms of the schedule of the course itself, the due date for the final is already posted on there. As I said, July 23rd and 24th it will be available. Pretty much the exception of in section 6 where we have Independence Day, July 4th. That section is a little longer. The sections are basically a week long. Please feel free to contact me, email me if you have any questions. So welcome, and good luck this summer. I hope we have a solid, productive semester this summer. Welcome, everybody.